Okay, welcome. How's a lot of ease? Let's come to your back. You lay down. A couple hip openers to start. So just take Shavasana, your firm, rested, passive state for one breath. Then you'll move the right knee towards the chest. Fingers come over the shin. Pull the right leg towards your body. Circles with the right knee. And then the right leg goes left. Left hand on top of right thigh. So you're in a twist, feeling the piriformis muscle, perhaps the QL muscle, a twist of the lumbar spine. One breath. And release this, come back to center, lengthen out the right leg, adjust your body, take a breath. And then bring the left knee towards chest, fingers over left shin, pull the left leg towards you, relax your hip. Perhaps a bit of exploration by moving the left knee around. And the right hand on the left knee, move the left leg towards the right. Right hand on top of left thigh. And breathe. And you'll release this, center, legs long, one breath. We'll take a bend to the knees, the feet on the floor. Lift the feet up so the shins are parallel to the mat, like you're in a chair that fell on its back. Hands on thighs. You can lift the head and shoulders if you're ready for that. Hands push into your legs as your thighs resist your hands. Just warming up the low belly. Hands push, legs pull. Here for 3. Very normal if you're feeling a vibration within. Hold for 2. Keep pushing the thighs. And on 1, we'll lower the head, lower the feet. Knees left, then right. Back and forth. And at center. You'll press into the feet to lift your hips up. Point your tailbone away so the glute muscles are feeling warm. Tailbone points, hips press towards the ceiling. 3. Here for 2. Breathe in. And come down slow, vertebrae by vertebrae. Hips down. Right heel to the ceiling, fingers behind the right thigh. Push the low back, reach the heel, right toes towards your face. And a gentle pull into the thigh. Move the right ankle onto your left leg. Right hand presses the right thigh away. Lift your left foot up, the hands will move behind your left leg, hamstring or shin. Head back, tailbone down, shoulders back. Gentle rock left and right. Lower the left, lower the right, right into the next side. Lift the left heel up, fingers behind left thigh. Push low back, reach the heel, toes to your face. And gentle pull. Long breath. And we'll move the left ankle onto the right thigh. Left hand presses left leg away. Lift the right foot up and we'll move the hands behind the hamstring or the shin. Head back, shoulders back, tailbone down. And rock left and right. And lower the right foot down, left foot down. Hands face down on the floor, lift the feet off the floor. So hands are face down, feet are lifted. Move the feet a bit further away, like we're riding a bicycle. You're going to keep the low back pressing the floor and pedaling with the legs. 8, 7, 6. Just warming up your thighs, warming up the low core. 4, 3, 2, and 1. You're going to land the heels to the edges of the mat. So heels are wide, but the knees fall in. Then one knee down towards the mat, heels still wide, and your other knee down towards the mat. Come back, rise both knees up, keep the heels wide. We'll press the heels and lift your hips. Point your tailbone, take an inhale, come down halfway, softening the glutes, and then squeeze to rise back up. Halfway down to soften, squeeze to rise. Halfway down, keep going through this for 8. Squeeze to rise and lower. For 6. Squeeze and soften. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hips down, heel toe the feet in so they're hip width. Lift your head and shoulders up. Try to touch the right heel with the right fingers. Then the left heel with the left fingers, keeping the head and the ribs lifted, like you're swaying the body left and right. Touch the right, touch the left. The further you lift the ribs up, the more of a challenge this will be. Maybe the hand slides down to the ankle. Maybe you're touching the pinky toe side of the foot. You're going back and forth for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Shoulders come down, head goes down. Lengthen out your legs and just sway the feet a bit just to loosen this up. And then bring the feet back on the floor, knees rebend, toes together, heels together. Palms face down on the floor. Press the feet, lift your hips up, and we'll take the right leg to the ceiling. Come down halfway, lift back up, bend the right knee, put the right foot on the floor. Lift your left leg up, heel to the ceiling, halfway down, lift back up, left knee back down. Right heel up, halfway down, and lift. Bend the right knee, foot on the floor. Left leg up. Halfway down, lift the hips, bend left knee. Let's keep going. 8, down, up, knee bends. Left leg up, still 8. Down, up, knee bends. 7. So as you reach the heel up, the quadricep actually works, the top of the thigh. But then the lowering and the lifting is the glute. 6, so engage the thigh, down, up, bend the knee. Left heel up, down, up, bend the knee. 5, heel to the ceiling, dorsiflexing the foot. Knee bends. Left up, down, lift, knee bends. 4 more to go. Right heel to the sky. Down, up, bend. Left heel up. Down, up, bend. 3 more. bend, left heel up, down, up, bend. 2 more. Right heel, knee bends, left heel, and bend. Last one, right heel up, lower, lift, bend the knee, left heel up, lower, down, bend the knee. Hips to the mat, open the knees wide, heels together. Take the arms overhead, breathe into reach. As you exhale, lift the head and shoulders, try to touch the heels so feet can lift. Inhale, open back up, arms overhead, and exhale, touch the feet. Breathe into open. You could even touch the fingers together as you do this movement. So lower and lift. Let's do 8, touch, 7, 6, 4, 2, and 1. Head back, arms down, lengthen legs, and just wiggle a bit, releasing the effort. Bend the knees, put the feet back on the ground. Both knees go to the right. Reach up for the ceiling. Breathe in. And you'll just lift the head and shoulders and then down. Lift head and shoulders and down. 8, lower, 7, 6, 5, 4, 2, and 1. Head back, arms down, knees back up. If you want to move the hips a bit to the right, and then take the knees to the left. Arms overhead, breathe in. Lift and lower, lift and lower. 8, 6, 4, 2, and head back, arms down, knees back up. Lengthen out your legs, give your body a little shake. You can take the right arm up. We'll move the hips to the left side. You're going to move on to your side. So let's take the hand by the head for support. Left hand on top, and you'll reach the heels away. Right thigh up and down. Try to find the full range. Lower. 10 and down. 9, 8, 6, 4, 3, 2, last, 1. Bend the left knee, put the knee on the mat in front. You could use the hand and give a punch to the muscle that was just working. Find the spot that's tight. Encourage new blood flow into this area, repairing the muscle. You'll take your left hand back onto the floor in front. Lift the right thigh up and down. Lift and lower. 8, 7, 5, 3, last. Hold, hold, hold for 3. Keep the leg lifted. Feel the inner thigh burn for 2. A little more height if you got it. Breathe in and lower the leg down. Lengthen out your top leg again. Little different this time. The left hand is going to go up. Left leg will lift. You're going to touch the elbow to the knee. Reach and touch. 10, 9, 8, 6, 4, 2, and final 1. Good. Okay, hand down. You can roll to your front, then flip over. I'm going to spin around so I can still see the screen, but you're welcome to just roll over and do the same thing by flipping. So your hand is going to go to support the head. Your legs are going to reach the heels away, top hand on the floor for support. With the heels reaching, leg up and down. Try to find the full range. Then lower. 10. Down. 9. 7. 5. 3. 1. Bend the top knee, floor in front, top hand gives the punch to the hip. Put the top hand back on the ground in front, lift the bottom thigh up and lower, lift and lower. 8, 7, 5, 3, 2, and we're going to hold the last one. So hold here, lift higher if you can for 3, feel the inner thigh burn, lift more if you can for 2, hold here, breathe in, lower the leg down. Then you'll lengthen out your top leg again, and you'll lift the arm up, you'll lift the thigh up, breathe in, elbow to knee, reach and touch, 10, touch, 9, 8, 6, 4, 3, 2, more, and final, 1. Touch the knee. Hand down, leg down. If you want to give that a punch, if it feels tight, go for it. So the hip, you're also working the oblique muscles by doing that. We're going to come back up. I'm going to spin around again. But you're going to come onto your front, your stomach. So onto your belly. Toes reach away, thighs are engaged. We'll peel the ribs up, lift the hands and the elbows up. And then lower back down like sit-ups. Lift and hold, and then lower. Lift and hold, then lower. 8, back, down. 7, and lower. 6, to the mat. 5, lower, down. 4, 3, and lower. 2, lower, down. Final, 1, and lower. Press the knees, press the hands, lift your hips, push your palms to rise up to a table, and then move the hips back to your heels. Lengthening out the back body. Let's walk the fingertips to the right, left hand onto the right hand, press your left hip back, stretching the whole left side of your back. And you'll shift your hands back, walking them towards the left. Left hand off the mat, right hand onto your left hand. Press the right hip back. And hands walk back to center. Shift yourself to a hands and knees position. Tabletop. Hands and knees. Look up to the ceiling, lift your tailbone. And round in as you exhale. Inhale, look up, lift your left leg up. Exhale, chin to chest, knees on the mat. Look up, lift the right heel up. Knees come back onto the mat. We'll go back and forth like this. Left leg lifts, look up, round the spine, and then knees back onto the mat. Right leg, U shape, and then knees back down. Let's just do 4 more. Left leg, glute engaged, knee down. Right side and lower. So this is glute work, but also the trapezius muscles. So the muscles in the midsection of your back. Look up, squeeze, and then reset. Let's do 3 and down and lower. 2, down and lower. Last one to the mat, and last other side and down. Okay, just open the knees wide, bring the hips back. Walk the hands away so the spine is feeling rounded. Little rock of your hips left and right. And then bring yourself back up to hands and knees. And you'll lean forward, bend the elbows, slowly come down, keeping the hips lifted. Slow and steady lowering. Keep the core drawn in. 3, slow and steady coming down. For 2, the knees are still on the mat. And touch the ground on 1. Point your toes away. Hands move back by your sides. Thumbs are pointed away. And you'll lift the chin, ribs, feet, knees up. Lower down. Hands are there for balance on the floor. Ribs up, thighs up. Lower down. Let's do 10. And lower. Ribs up, thighs up. And down. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. And 1. Bring the hands back onto the mat, palms face down, press the knees, lift your hips, and push your hands slow and steady. Shift yourself back up to a hands and knees position. Open the knees wide and send the hips back. Elbows down, forehead down, breathe. Come back up, table. We're gonna hold plank. So you can walk the knees away, open up your finger pads, find plank from the knees to the crown of the head. This could be good for you, you're welcome to stay. Or tuck the toes underneath, straighten the legs. Keep the belly drawn in, a grip of the ground. And 5 breaths. 3, 2. Breathe in. And lower the knees down on 1. Go back to child's pose. Elbows down, forehead down. Rock your hips left and right. Then your hands can walk back. We'll stand upright on your knees. Stand up on the knees. Start with your hands low back. Hips go forward, lean back, look up, engage the glute muscles. Take a breath. And then rise back up. So you can keep the hands in low back. We're gonna do 8 sets. I would suggest tucking your toes underneath. It could feel more stable for you. There's 2 other variations. So support is the first step. Hands behind the head is step 2. Arms all the way to the ceiling is step 3. Okay? Lean back, feel the shake, and come back up. Lean back, vibrate, and lift. 8. And lift. 7. Rise up. 6. You're trying to keep the low back long. We don't want to dump all the weight into the lumbar. Like you're pointing the tailbone down, keeping the ribs up for 4. And rise like a sit-up, but with a different relationship to gravity. 2. And last one. Back up, hands under the floor in front, table. And like a dog at a fire hydrant, left knee wide and then down, same side and lower. 8, knees on the mat, left wide and down. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and final 1. Knee down, next side, right leg wide, lower, out, and in. 8, 7, 6, 4, 2, last 1, and down. So hands and knees. Move the hands a little bit forward. Come forward, bend the elbows, slowly lowering, keep the hips lifted. Take your time, moving towards the mat, keeping the elbows right by your sides. And once you've touched the mat, lift your chin, your ribs, your feet, knees, thighs, hands up, breathe, and lower back down. Press the knees, lift the hips, push your hands, rise yourself back up to tabletop. Inhale, hips to heels. And we're going to do that exact same thing 3 more times. Come back up. Bend the elbows, keep the elbows right by your sides. Lean forward, keep the hips lifted. We want the ribs to touch down first. Hips would touch the mat second. Once you're down, lift the feet, knees, thighs, ribs up. Inhale, and lower back down. Press your knees, lift your hips, push your hands, rise yourself back up. Inhale at tabletop, and then the hips back to child's pose. Stay for 1 breath. And 2 more to go. Rise back up, breathe in, and rock your body forward. Bend the elbows, keep your hips lifted. Slowly come down. Again, we want the ribs to touch down first. Point your toes, lift the thighs, lift the chin, ribs, maybe hands up, and back down. Press your knees, lift your hips, push your hands. Come back up to hands and knees. Then the hips go back to the heels. And take 1 breath in child's pose. We'll do 1 more round. Come back up, hands and knees. Move your ribs forward, bend your elbows, take your time shifting towards the mat, hips stay lifted. And we'll touch the mat, point the toes, lift the ribs, lift the hands, thighs up, breathe in, and come back down. Press the knees, hips up, push the hands, move back up into a table, and take the hips back to the heels. Pause and breathe. Let's move your way back up, hands and knees, and then you can walk the knees right up behind the wrists. Knees wide, toes touch, take a seat. Hands to the mat behind. Lean back, lift the hips up, breathe in, and lower down. You can move 1 elbow down at a time. Again, lift and lower. Maybe you're happy here, or perhaps you're going even further. Head and shoulders back, arms overhead to stretch the whole front of your body. And take a breath. The hands can move underneath your ankles. Press the elbows, rise yourself back up. Hands under the floor in front, open your finger pads. Walk yourself back to a tabletop. Hands and knees, then lift the hips up. So tuck your toes and lift your hips to downward dog. Take a breath in and a full breath out. Lift your left leg up. Feel the left glute muscle engage. Move your left knee to your left elbow, shoulders over wrists. And we'll take your left leg back up to the ceiling. Breathe in. Move your left knee to the right elbow, so you're crossing your body. Take your left leg back up, breathe in, glute engaged. Left knee to your nose, push the hands, lift your thigh, you should feel your core strong. Left leg back up, breathe in. Pigeon, left knee, left wrist. Angle shin, walk right leg back, and you'll fold over your left leg. Elbows down, forehead connects to the fist or the mat. Relax here and breathe. About 5 breaths. Try to disengage the body to sink into it, opening up the left glute muscle. And the hands will move back onto the mat. Open up your finger pads. Tuck through the right toes underneath. We'll lift your left leg up to the ceiling. A full breath to reach, lift, and open. So feel stretch to the front of the left hip. And level off. We'll lower the left foot back down. Move to the same thing on the next side. Right leg up. Feel the glute engage. Move the right knee to the right elbow. Shoulders over the wrists. Right leg back up to the ceiling, inhale. Move the right knee to the left elbow, core contained. Right leg back up, breathe in. You'll move the right knee to your nose, push your hands, lift the right thigh up, feel the core muscles, and right leg back to the ceiling, feel the glute muscle. Right knee, right wrist for pigeon. Angle shin. Left leg walks back, and fold over the front leg. Again, about 5 breaths. Try to soften your body. You'll move the hands back onto the mat. Tuck your back toes underneath. And we'll take the front leg, lift it way up high, lift and open at the hip. You can reach the left heel down, right thigh up and wide. Breathe in. And then level off your pelvis, right foot down. Either take child's pose or we'll go through one flow. So for the flow, high plank. Come down to a hover off the mat. Lift the ribs, find upward dog, breathe in. And the hips up to downward dog, breathe out. One more breath. You'll lower the knees down. Cross the ankles, come back to a seat, legs out in front for staff pose. Hands by the sides. Feet are about hip width, toes towards the face, dorsiflexing the feet. Push the hands to the floor to lift the ribs up. Stay for one breath in this 90-degree angle. Arms go wide up to the ceiling, take a breath, look up, and you'll fold yourself forward over your legs. Three. Two. And rise back up on one. You'll take the right heel just outside of your mat, left foot, inner right thigh. Reach up, breathe in, twist to the left. You'll move the right elbow down, left arm to the ceiling, look up, breathe in. You can move your left hand behind your head, maybe you lean towards the right thigh. And begin to rise yourself back up. Hands can move to the ground behind. Lift the ribs up, take a breath, shoulders back. And we'll switch your legs. Your other leg long, foot inner thigh, arms back to the ceiling to lengthen the spine. Twist and you'll lower the elbow to the inner thigh, taking the same pose on the other side. So you'll reach the hand, look up, perhaps the hand behind the head, and you can lean towards the long leg. Hold for 3 breaths. And rise yourself back up, hands to the floor behind. Again, you'll lift the ribs, shoulders back, breathe in. And then with your feet long in front, bring the hands by the hips. Fingertips are pointed towards the heels. We'll come to reverse table. You'll shift your weight forward, feet will come onto the mat, lift your hips up. Like a tabletop backwards. One line from shoulders to knees. Take a smooth breath. And lower the knees down. One elbow to the mat at a time. Head back, shoulders back. One thigh, like the right thigh, up and over the left thigh. Lift the legs, you'll move them to the left. Left hand on top. Reach the right hand away, look to the right thumb, and breathe. And look back up, legs move back up, unbind the legs. Shift the hips if you need to. Twist on the next side, your other thigh up and over. And find the counter twist. And breathe. Look back up, legs back up, feet on the floor. You can open the knees wide, relaxing the front of the hips. And Lift the knees, lengthen the legs, move your way into your final resting position. So your hands by your sides, palms faced up. Relax the hips. And breathe. Okay, great work today, guys. Thank you all for coming.